Hello, welcome to your special spring readings. The vernal equinox marks the time of year to the seasonal shift into spring, bringing in warmer weather in the northern hemisphere and the commencement of the winter thaw. Of course, in the southern hemisphere, it is the beginning of autumn. Spring officially starts on March 20th at 3:29 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The equinox means equal amount of day and night. Equa meaning equal, and nox meaning night in Latin. This is where astrologers set the marking point of 0 degrees Aries, creating the Western tropical zodiacal system. There are many cultural traditions that vary as to when the new year actually begins. In some cultures and religions, especially among astrologers, spring is seen as the initiation of the real new year, being that it is based upon the nature's season and not a man-made calendar year. But either way, it is an important time for us to awaken and emerge from the chrysalis of winter and put our dreams into action. Now would be a seasonally supportive time to honor your true passions by doing what you had envisioned during the winter months. I wanted to briefly share as to what I saw as being the most appropriate card to represent spring as the Sun card. And if it happens to show up in any of your readings, consider it a bonus. All right, so we see the sun as the bringer of light and warmth, which marks the seasons changing. We see the flowers here are in bloom, especially sunflowers in this card. We see this naked child as a sign of innocence and joy. And he's holding this red banner announcing a significant event that brings promise of hope and positive changes. We see the horse as a symbol for power and strength that the sun brings in its solar power. And finally, we have this wall here in the background, which is a distinct marker or barrier between one thing and another. In this case, it is the changing of the seasons. I may actually make a more in-depth video of this card's symbology on my channel's tarot tutorial playlist. But without any further delay, let's get started with your readings. Happy spring, everyone. Taurus, for your reading, I will be selecting cards from the Illuminati Tarot for each month. The first card will be for the remainder of March from the 20th to the 31st. The second card will be for April and the third for May and the fourth for June, up until the start of the summer season on the 20th. I will then be selecting a playing card for advice and or clarification or confirmation. And lastly, I will select a card from the Angels of Light Cards of Clarity Oracle deck to see which angelic energy will be assisting you this season. So show me the energy for Taurus this spring. Okay, this is it. So we have March, April, May, June. Okay, and the shadow card here is the Two of Wands. Okay, so this is about dominion. It's about a small success. Something that you thought was going to be more difficult than it actually was. So it's something that's easier than you thought it would be, okay? So you sort of initiated something and you're thinking, oh man, it's going to take forever. But now you're sort of at that next stage already. And you're sort of going, oh my gosh, where did the time go? I need to sort of look forward to what's coming. And actually, you do have things to look forward to that's ahead of you. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what that is. All right, so starting off here with this March energy of the Five of Wands, and I do see this as like struggling to compete with other people or struggling to sort of keep up with other people. So in a sense, I do have that feeling of like, there's a couple things that I'm feeling from this, which is like, one, it's sort of trying to keep up with the Joneses. So you're comparing yourself to other people's successes, okay? Which may be good to motivate you, but at the other sense, it's like you are on your own unique path, and you know, you are your best marker, you are your best motivator of like competition. So meeting your best, meeting your own challenges and comparing yourself to yourself and your successes, like where you were and how you've grown from that as like a milestone or a comparison. Okay, so I'm getting that, and I'm also seeing like just a struggle to make things sort of work out between you and the people around you. Like you're just not on the same page as everyone right now, and that's okay. I see it being a little bit hectic. You got to wait until the dust settles on this one in order to really feel like you're on top again, because it's like you're sort of being tossed around like from here to there, and you're competing with the people around you for whatever it is, whether it be a goal that you're trying to accomplish with the other people and you're not really sure if it's going to come together or not, or competing for the attention of somebody. There's just that sort of general energy of like feeling like you have to sort of like, you know, battle with other people, and it doesn't feel like aggressive, it doesn't feel physical. This could be sports, even like a sports competition, that sort of thing, where you're on different teams. Okay, so that's the energy for the beginning of spring. Trying to sort of pull things together and get everyone working on the same page may be a little bit more difficult than you were thinking. But here in April, yes, April, you have the Queen of Swords. Okay. The Queen of Swords is serious. Okay, she's a serious energy. I do see this like lovely butterfly here, which is about transformation. And I was mentioning at the beginning of this video, like coming out of that chrysalis and allowing yourself like freedom of expression without being hindered from other people's influences, what other people say that you should or shouldn't do, or their sort of, you know, it's like picking a career that you truly want, or picking a life path that you truly, or just picking food that you really want. Anything that's like really what your passion is, not trying to like constantly please other people. Here, I see you like thinking about that and allowing yourself to really be free and have that freedom of expression and really own that, okay? The Queen of Swords is the Queen of Thought. You could be in your head this month. It's a very cerebral energy. She communicates very clearly. She knows what she wants, but she also has a sword in her hand. So she's able to cut out people, things, situations, circumstances, ideas that are no longer useful to her, and you're embodying that energy quite nicely. It can be severe, but it also can be gentle, and it can be a little bit of both. With her, she's definitely about, you know, balance. Okay. You may be feeling a little bit detached from the social group, or maybe you want to detach, not sever necessarily, not completely separate, but just sort of step back a little bit. Or maybe I think what I'm getting is stepping away from the outcome, giving up the control that you had sort of like plaguing you with frustration. It's like, you know, needing to sort of get everyone on the same page. You're like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna just see how things roll. I'm gonna see how things move forward on their own. And it's like, once you give it up, there's a sense of liberation in that. Okay. So a focus is on the self. Anything else I want to say about this card? There could be a Queen of Swords around you in April. And, you know, the Queen of Swords energy, she's very smart, but she can also be a little bit of a know-it-all. And I do feel like that's someone within your group here as well. So a lot of you could be embodying the Queen of Swords as like being decisive, being clear, cutting away things that you don't need, expressing yourself and like having that freedom and liberation. And some of you could be dealing with a Queen of Swords. It's easier to be the Queen of Swords than deal with a Queen of Swords. Okay. Six of Cups coming up for May. This is a lovely energy. This has to do with like play and children. A lot of you could be spending time around children, or just allowing, again, this sort of like freedom of self-expression keeps coming up for me to share with you. And it's sort of like that, again, that innocence of the child that we see here in the Sun card, where it's like you're just finding, you know, joy, what brings you joy without being self-conscious, without being concerned about what other people think of you. The Six of Cups is like the child's play. Okay? Allowing yourself to play, allowing yourself to be silly and goofy. And they're completely different decks, but I do see sunflowers here in this card. I see flowers, but especially the sunflowers. Generally, this is a very sweet energy, and I feel like a lot of you are going to be like checking in with yourself. Like, how do I monitor myself? How do I, you know, parent myself? Am I being a gentle parent to myself or to my kids? Or am I being a severe parent to myself or to my kids? Or do I have a little bit of both here? The Queen of Swords, again, is like severity and gentleness and sort of a vacillation between the two. And the Six of Cups is about children. So sometimes you could be like very, you know, like easygoing with yourself, and sometimes a little bit more self-judgmental, I guess. Okay, so as long as you're aware of that. But generally in May, I do see this as being like a lovely energy where you're going to have fun. You're going to be playing maybe with children or around children, or you're just going to be allowing your inner child to really sort of come out and play as he or she wants to. Again, you have the six, you have another six. Six of Wands this time. And the Six of Wands is about, it's about self-confidence. Being confident in your capabilities. It's about self-respect, really, based upon your achievements. So again, this sort of like energy of knowing that you're worth it, knowing that you deserve it, knowing that you've earned it. And we move on from the chaos and competition of the Five of Wands to the Six of Wands. You still have the five people that are in this card around you, but in this card, they're supporting you instead of working against you or working, you know, or it's like, you know, a constant like arm wrestle with people. It's like once you give up that sort of sense of control and needing to be in control of the situation, of the outcome, of other people, then it's like you've achieved something here. I like this. You've gone from the 5 to the 6. And there could be a lesson in this from the past that you have, you're sort of revisiting this. because the Six of Cups is also about past and nostalgia, but I do just see it as like a general sense of like play and children more so. You do have the sixes together, the two sixes, okay, and it's sort of like you've gone through one set of circumstances, you've learned and grown from it, and then this is the completion of the next step, of the next set, the next cycle, okay, which is still, you know, relative. It's still appropriate to the first cycle, but you're sort of moving beyond that next step. You're taking the next phase, I guess is the right word to sort of describe that. And I did see that at the beginning here with the Two of Wands. You're like, wow, that was easier than I thought it would be. So instead of having to battle and struggle with people, it's like, you know what? I'm just going to be the Queen of Swords. I'm just going to do what I need to do for me. And it looks like things will kind of work themselves out to where you have this like lovely energy of like completing that next step. It's almost like you get farther with reaching your goal by being a little bit more passive. So just a little bit of, I guess, advice we can see from the playing cards, either that, or I guess I wanted to see if there's any clarification or any sort of confirmation to add to what I'm seeing here. Show me Taurus. Taurus energy. Message. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. The Two of Wands. Absolutely. So this would definitely be a confirmation. Two of Wands cards came up. There's a definite sense of like duality with the two, okay? Because first you have the one, which is like singularity, and then you have two, which is duality. It's equal but opposite energy. What in your life do you feel like is equal but opposite energy? Whether it's related to a person, a thing, whatever. Just sort of ask yourself that. Because I am seeing also the two sixes here. There is a definite sense of balance of things that are like the flip side of the coin. It's still the same coin, but it's a different side of it. It's a different phase. It's a different aspect. All right. I want to go ahead and pull a card for you, Taurus, to see which angelic energy will be assisting you. Ooh, Angel of Harmony. Again, balance, duality. That's sort of equal but opposite. Perfect message. And if you can see the image here, there's like these two angels and they're sort of looking at this thing in the center here, the sense of balance. There's a lot of two, there's a duality. It might be you and the Queen of Swords. It could be polar opposites of aspects of yourself, or again, that sort of flip side of the same coin. All right, so this message just keeps coming up for you for spring, Taurus, and it says, working with the Angel of Harmony assures that each time you ask for assistance with making decisions and choices, you will be influenced by God's desire for you to have only love and peace in your life. When experiencing any negative conditions, ask for this heavenly assistance to enter and influence the situation. Decisions, choices, asking for assistance, knowing that you don't have to be responsible or in control of the outcome. Okay. All right, Taurus. So thank you so much for liking and sharing my videos and for subscribing to my channel. I will see you in the upcoming videos.